Welcome, ladies and gents. Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2, Chapter 18. Yes, that's right. We're still doing the chapters, which is interesting nonetheless. I wonder whether that will go anywhere, who knows. But this episode was fantastic. If you haven't watched it already, please do. This review breakdown will have spoilers attached. So again, if you haven't seen the episode already, please do go ahead and watch it. So we kickstart the episode over on Tatooine. Now, this is of course the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, heading off to find the IG-11 memory core unit thing that he just couldn't find anywhere else, and neither could the little Babu Fricks. I know they're not called Babu Fricks, but they couldn't find it nonetheless. So interestingly, there was a few bits and pieces in terms of heading to Tatooine. So Bunta, this is a holiday which actually they're celebrating on Tatooine at the time. Bunta was originally first mentioned in Star Wars Legends and continued in Star Wars Droids, the animated series episode The White Witch. But in the show itself, it refers to Bunta's Eve, or Bunta Eve, and this is one of 3 holidays established to commemorate the victories of the Hutts against the Parliament of Moralan and the Zim Despot at the Third Battle of Vontor, and was named after Bunta the Hutt. So that's what they're celebrating. That's where all the fireworks are going off and there's sort of speeders racing around. And of course, you know, Mandalorian is heading there. He's discussing trying to get this IG-11 memory core, and well, he gets shafted and offered an R5 droid. Now, R5D4, this is the exact same one from A New Hope. This is the one which blows and obviously leads to Uncle Owen going off to grab R2D2 instead. It's an astromech droid. It's fairly standard. We've seen them many, many times, but it's interesting that that one just keeps coming back. And I'm aware before it was established as a Jedi or something like that in the past, so that was interesting nonetheless. Now, Pelimoto refers to 2 creatures in the conversation, and they're interesting, so I thought we would dive into that a little bit as well as part of this breakdown. Now, a Nuzzle Shrew is a native creature to Tatooine. Not much else really involved in that. And she also mentions a Lurman, which is what she says when Grogu leaps from the cockpit to obviously jump into her arms. Now, a Lurman is a race of beings that were introduced in the Clone Wars as a peaceful race that stood a meter high with yellow eyes on the planet Maridun in the Rolian sector in the Outer Rim. She mentions chance cubes as well. They're just a gambling, like a dice, essentially. Now, obviously, Din Djarin gets shafted with the R5D4 droid, and he heads off to Mandalore. Now, there was some really beautiful shots there. So, from a cinematography perspective, I really, really enjoyed the shots. Just absolutely beautiful stuff. The camera work in this is second to none. It's great. He's obviously discussing things with Grogu, teaching him the ways of being a Mandalore. To be a Mandalorian, you must be able to navigate, so then you're never truly lost. And this obviously comes up later in the episode when Din Djarin gets captured and Grogu has to go off to bo-katan. Because, of course, these things get mentioned whilst discussing this. Oh, here is this moon, here is bo-katan's homeworld, and Grogu, as much as he's sort of this baby-ish figure, he's definitely taking it in. We already see that, and that was really, really beautiful. So Concordia, which is a moon which orbits Mandalore, is actually, or was, governed by Pre-Vizsla, where Death Watch used it as a secret hideout. And then, of course, Kale Vala is bo-katan's homeworld as well. Now, the Alamites, which attack Din Djarin, they're brand new. Not seen them before. They're brand new. Obviously, they're just establishing new lore as they go along. Additions to the lore anyway. And I quite liked it. I thought that was really brutal. So, you know, Din Djarin lands. He sends the R5 unit out. R5 doesn't want to go out, but he gets out anyway. Stop being a baby. Go off and do it. And obviously, he gets sort of battered. And then from there, Din Djarin has to go out. You know, and then he faces off against the Alamites and then captured, etc. from there. But it was some pretty brutal fights. And I know some people will say, well, later in the episode, Bo-Katan dealt with them easier. She's very familiar with them. She was expecting them. She literally saw them. That's to be expected. It's not a big stretch that she would have be a more adept fighter with these beings, because she's used to them. She knows them. But like I said, he gets captured, Din Djarin, and this is like some sort of android creature. He's draining his blood for nourishment. I really like the design of that alien thing. It was really cool. Really, really cool. Sort of shades of... Oh, cop some flack for this, but almost General Grievous, you know? It's that sort of weird cyborg connectivity thing. I loved it. I thought that was great. And the way the droid, the mech unit, moved around the cyborg thing was almost stop-motion-esque. I thought they handled that animation very, very well. And just beautiful VFX. Absolutely great. From there, of course, Din Djarin tells Grogu, go find bo-katan, and he does, but the interesting exchange there was, oh, you have an uninvited guest or an unexpected guest. The droid says to bo-katan, bo-katan's like, right, let's get rid of him once and for all. And I was like, ooh, is she planning to kill him? But she comes out, not blasters ready, just ready to talk. And then from there, obviously finds out it's Grogu, and she's like, what happened to him? Take me to him. And then they go. And that was great. The ship that bo-katan flies in was great, beautiful. And one thing which I did notice as she was coming in to Mandalore is the wings were shaking. Nice little touch, nice addition. Definitely shows the turbulence and something which is often overlooked when you're looking at these great grandiose animation pieces. But that was really nice, a good touch. And then of course they're sort of just going around and freeze Din Djarin. And then they find the living waters underneath Mandalore. And, yeah, that's a mythosaur. A fucking huge one. Now, interestingly, there was a few exchanges which I really, really appreciated. So as bo-katan is talking about, you know, following the creed, taking the creed, and, you know, saying all this stuff, Din Djarin stops and goes, this is the way. And it takes her off guard, but it's a definitive sign of respect that I don't think she was expecting. And you can see the seeds being planted for bo-katan's character arc. Now, I don't know necessarily where it's going to go. I have thoughts and theories on it, but you can see it. And then, of course, Din Djarin goes into the waters and just falls all the way down. Don't know if he fell or if he was pulled down. I think he just fell, because obviously he's not expecting it. He doesn't know it. And maybe bo-katan didn't know it either, that had fallen down, and now mythosaur. Obviously, mythosaurs are a mythical beast. They don't know that they even exist anymore. And yeah, so she goes down, grabs him, and there is a gigantic mythosaur there. But interestingly, in lore and canon, when a mythosaur comes back, it is the new age of Mandalore. So there you go. Pretty huge stuff. Pretty big. And this is what I mean by sort of bo-katan and the character arc there. Maybe she'll think that it's to do with her, and she will lead the new age of Mandalore, or she sees it as Din Djarin, and she will then bow to him and give respect, etc. Either or, it's a great... The seeds for that character arc are absolutely epic. They're all there, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. So there you have it, ladies and gents. There's my episode review and breakdown. Very, very good. I hope you learned something. If you did, hit that thumbs up button and hit subscribe and give the video a share. Thank you all so much. Take care.